Let resolution be your solution.
And it's Mike Stand here with the Resolution Radio 2020. Today's topic is technology. How technology has improved our lives, right from medication through to transportation. Things that have made your life easier, my life easier, with the very fact that we're able to communicate here via the radio, and the fact that you're able to ring me up on your mobile telephones. You're able to communicate with us via the internet, emails, texts, that kind of thing. How these things have helped with society, how things have improved to the extent that we can not only communicate, but we can fly from one city to another, from one country and continent to another in a matter of hours. So if you're in a dreary country where it's cold and wet, I'm not naming any names there, you can fly to Florida or California or somewhere nice, or Hawaii, oh my word, Hawaii, and you can, or perhaps even Las Vegas for a bit of a holiday there, and nice and get yourself thoroughly warmed up, the cockles of your heart. Well, technology has made a big difference in our lives, from the automobile, where again you can drive from place to place, carry your goods and chattels around with you all day long without feeling the strain and the weight on your back. So for me, technology is very important. It's helped us all improve things. I mean, in our lifetime, most of our lifetime at least, there's been a moonshot and the space shuttle. Obviously, I've never been a passenger in either of those. However, they did exist and do exist, and they are part of our everyday life, the memory of those things. So there we go. The topic for today, technology. What's your experience of technology? How has experiencing technology helped you out? Perhaps it's sending application forms for work via the internet, rather than what some people have started to refer to as snail mail. Let me know. Give us a call on the usual number. I look forward to hearing from you. Technology.
Mike Stand taking your calls.
Well, we're talking about progress and the way that things are developing, and it's nice to get my producer just told me that our next caller is a younger caller, and this is Joel. Now then, Joel, go ahead and let's hear you make your point.
So, I understand you're on in the afternoon this week, yeah? That's great. It's 2 o'clock. I've just had my breakfast, right? And I wanted to draw your attention to a bit of a thing that sort of grinds my gears, really.
Go ahead now. You're live on the radio.
So, right, I'm a student, right? And I've been listening to your program all morning, and seems like you're talking about, things that should be improved and what have you, So I was thinking that your generation's ruined everything for everyone. You've commercialised everything, right? And so we've got inherited a world that's ruined, right? And it's not good, yeah.
Well, you blame the entire older generation for this. I understand where you're coming from. I gather you're a student. What university courses are you taking?
So I'm taking English, and it's great, and I'm enjoying it. But I'm still upset about the way things have sort of degenerated in my time. And everybody seems to be only about buying the property and everything like that. And I think it's just a waste of an opportunity. I've got to go. I've just had a notification on my phone that an item I'm buying on eBay is just about to finish. Got to go. See you, man.
Well, that was Joel there. I think there was a little hint of irony at the end that he's criticizing my generation for all the commercialization, but had to go because something had come up for his attention to buy on eBay. Thank you for your call, Joel. I hope to hear from you again in the future.
Mike Stand taking your calls.
So here I am, ringing you up to tell you a bit of a story. All right, I'm stood in my house. My mate rings me up. He's in his van driving about. He rings me up, he says, I tell you what, he says, the signal's breaking up. He says, are you moving from room to room or something? This guy's driving along on the motorway. I says, wait a minute. I says, you're the one who's moving. Why do you always assume the signal's breaking up at my end? It's like a piece of string, innit? It might be frayed at your end, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's frayed at my end, does it? Anyway, that was the end of that. He broke up and off he went.
Let resolution be your solution.
Hello again, Mike. Long time no communication. I hope you've been well.
I'm fine. I'm very well. Now then, you phoned in to have a chat, make a point, talk to my radio show. What can I do for you today?
Oh, well, you see, what it is, our town, it's all full of those sort of corridors of, industrial units where shops are. You know, they used to be on High Street, used to have a Dixon's, a Curry's, or even a Comet, but now we've got to go to these industrial complexes. So I thought to myself, well, the wife has asked me, can we go down and get a microwave? And I thought, microwave? Oh, do we need a microwave? Oh, okay then. We better move into sort of 20th or even 21st century, So anyway, we got his togs on, got coats and got bank card and all that, ready to go, and got on a bus and went down into town, and then got another bus and went down to the industrial unit and sort out the place.
Sorry, is there a point to this story? It sounds all very interesting, your travel movements throughout your local town.
Oh yes, yes, of course. I'm building up to it, Mike. I'm doing my best. So anyway, we walked into the shop and we had a look around, and they had these microwaves, and some of them were gigantic. I thought, call them microwaves. They're not very small, are they? You know what I mean? I expected them to be smaller than they are, but enough to get a pie in, obviously, so that you could, you could cook it from, obviously it's already been pre-cooked by the butcher, but just to warm it up so you could have it with your peas for your tea, Anyway,
microwaves, it's to do with the cooking method. It's not to do with the size of the actual implement there.
Of course, yes, microwaves. A bit like they used to use in radar back in the day. Very dangerous if you're not careful with those microwaves. I suppose that's why it's got a door on it that you're supposed to shut, when you put your items that you want to warm up in it. Anyway, the main point of my story is I nearly give myself a hernia bringing it home. Something that I was expecting to be a lot smaller, but I realise now the insignificance of my mistake.
Well, glad to be of service there for you. Have a nice day.
Let resolution be your solution.
I understand that you're talking about progress and things like technology and so on. Well, one of the things that's happened to me recently that I thought was something of a sign of the times, really, was on the top meadow, the fence needed repairing, and some of the sheep got out. Some of the sheep got out onto the road and onto the public land just beyond.
So you actually own sheep on your estate?
Absolutely, they're all my sheep, obviously. Anyway, the sheep got out, and I thought I'd better engage a tradesperson, to rectify the shortcomings of the fence. I mean, it was put up about 70 years ago, so naturally it's going to need repairing eventually, I thought. Anyway, cheeky blighter, he contacts me, he says, would you like me to give you an estimate? An estimate. Back in the day, I would have just had a sort of contract with some local fellow, and the bill would have come at the end of the month, and that would have been that. Cheeky fellow actually asked me if I wanted to have an estimate, as though I didn't have the funding to do the job. Naturally, I engaged somebody else who never even mentioned a price. I felt much more secure about that.
Well, it just shows how times have changed. Anyway, I hope you managed to skew your sheep, and nobody pulled the wool over your eyes.
Mike Sam taking your calls.
Hello, Mike. I was just ringing. My mum, she worries about data protection. About like who's got all that information and whether somebody should ring up and try to con her, right? And I thought to myself, what can we do about this? Because it's not great, is it? You know what I mean? It's difficult to know how to protect my mum from dodgy people.
Well, I think your suggestions of trying to protect your mom is very laudable, and I think that's a great idea. Have you had any ideas at all as to what to do? To maybe give her some advice, tell her to look after any credit cards and not let anybody see her putting her numbers into the ATM?
Is an ATM a cash machine?
That's exactly correct. We call them an ATM over in the States. Yeah, it's a cash machine. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, well, I do tell her to be careful about who's looking over her shoulder and not to use so much of that if you can avoid it. And sometimes I go for it, and obviously I'm very, very careful. What I was thinking, because these companies, they sell your data amongst themselves and then sell them to somebody else, and then you get a phone call from a company that you have never even dealt with, and it's worrying. And I think they call it data protection, but it seems to be that all rules seem to protect these companies from us, which seems a bit weird to me.
And that's how it comes across to you. It seems unusual that these companies seem to look after their own interests rather than yours.
Yeah. And anyway, what I thought you said that I could have come up with a solution, and I think I have. I wonder how much it would cost from these companies if we were able to buy our data back, so that we owned it instead of them.
To buy your data back from the companies who have been buying and selling it between themselves. I just don't think that would be possible. Where would you track it all down? Well, as ever, a very interesting conversation. Now, you take care and stay safe.
Mike Sam taking your calls.
All right, good morning, Mike. It's Arthur here. I'll tell you what it is. I thought to myself, you're talking about technology and all the improvements in society and all that kind of thing. I notice is the topic of today.
That's absolutely correct. And were you going to make a contribution about this topic?
Absolutely, yes. I don't know whether you're going to believe me, but I've got to tell you, I actually invented the iPad. And I'll tell you how I did it. Excuse me, I actually had a cough there. What it was, I was in the pub. I was having a baker's sandwich and a pint with my friend, and he gets out of me. This is a good few years ago, this is. He gets out of his pocket, he gets out one of these iPhones. They hadn't been out very long, about a month, you know what I mean? He has to have every modern gadget known to man. I think even his car's automatic, that kind of fella. And anyway, he gets himself the iPhone out, and I says, "What's that?" He says, "It's an iPhone." I says, "What's a flipping iPhone then?" I couldn't understand it for a minute. Anyway, he gives it me in my hand, and I have a look at it.
And what did you think of the iPhone? Were you impressed? Was it an eye-opening experience having that in your hand?
Oh, it's very funny that, but I said, I looked at it and I thought, it's all right, isn't it? You can view the internet on it and things like that. It's like a window on the world, he says to me. He says he'd read this bump that came with it, he called it. And I says, all right, says information. He says it's a window on the world. You can look at any website and have a look at anything you want, you know what I mean? And I thought, well, that's impressive. It's impressive in a way. It's all right, isn't it? But it's not very big, is it? You don't get a full picture of what you're looking at. So, if you want to look at something on the other side of the world, you want a good old look at it. You know what I mean? To have it in the palm of your hand, but a bit sort of bigger, right?
So you thought the iPhone was a little sort of small?
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't want it to be as big as a computer. Like what I thought was it'd be about 4 times the area, same thickness. Obviously, sort of, a big screen on it and connect to the internet, that kind of thing. Maybe have a camera in it, maybe have a phone in it, so that it's all things to all people. You know what I mean? The first one that comes out, they ought to invent one that's big like that. So anyway, my mate says to me, "That's no good." I says, "Well, why is that then? That'll never catch on." He says. I says, "Why is that?" He says, "Well, they're never going to make trousers with pockets in it that big, are they? You know what I mean? So nobody buy a thing like that." So. Do you know what I did?
I have absolutely no idea what you did.
I gave up on it. I says to him, "No, you're right, absolutely. Human nature, you're never going to buy a pair of trousers with pockets that big. You look an absolute clown, wouldn't you, walking about?" So I gave up on it. Anyway, that's my experience with technology, Mike.
Well, with the...
Just one last thing, Mike, I forgot to say, keep smiling.
If you like this channel, like and subscribe our page. Share it with your friends. If you understand the underlying message here, which is about entertainment and fun,
Keep smiling.
then continue to stay with us. I look forward to interacting with you in the future.